Okay, let's unpack this. We're digging straight into the source material for the EH13P 4G dual AI dashcam.
Right.
And this is aimed squarely at commercial vehicle fleets. Our mission today is to really figure out how these engineering specs justify that claim of being the most cost-effective solution out there.
Exactly. And you have to remember, this isn't a device for, a weekend drive. We're looking at a system built for constant stress, 2047 reliability.
Where data loss is actual money lost.
That's it. Every design choice here is about keeping those fleets on the road.
So where do we start? The power system.
Yeah, you have to start with the power. This unit uses Farad large capacitors. The sources say there are multiple units, and they're 2.7V and 10F each.
And for anyone listening, what does that actually mean?
It means they're like these incredibly tough, durable little power reserves. They guarantee the power stays stable, even if the vehicle's main power cuts out for a second.
Or in extreme heat, right?
Especially in extreme heat.
And that's the key distinction. You think about a commercial truck cab sitting in the sun all day.
Mm-hmm.
That heat just kills a normal lithium battery. You'd be replacing it constantly. So this approach, it tackles that number one failure point head on.
And that's your cost saving. It's not the upfront price. It's the lack of replacement and the avoided downtime.
Right.
But what's fascinating is the pricing strategy. The base unit is super reliable with those capacitors.
Okay.
But they also offer an optional 7,500 milliha magnetic battery. And the sources call it the best price option.
Which feels a little like an upsell, maybe, if the core system is already so tough.
It does. It raises the question of how often you'd really need it. Maybe for, extremely long periods when the engine is totally off. Insurance, maybe?
A great point. Okay, so physical reliability is covered. What about the intelligence, the vision side of things?
Dual cameras,
Yeah.
both HD 1080p.
And the specs say the front camera is 110 degrees. The rear is much wider, though, at 140.
And that's a very deliberate design choice.
Why so much wider in the back?
The front needs clear, forward-facing evidence, but that super wide rear camera, which also has an IR LED for night vision.
Night vision.
Yeah, that's there to cover all the blind spots. It's for capturing everything that happens around the vehicle, especially during incidents or overnight.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And connectivity is obviously huge for fleet managers. The top 8 highlights in the source material list the whole package.
The full suite. You've got your 4G, built-in Wi-Fi GPS for real-time tracking.
And the remote monitoring.
Right. And linking that back to safety, the alarms are critical. It has a standard collision alarm, but also a vibration alarm.
And that activates after the collision.
After. And that's engineered specifically for insurance. It documents the entire event, not just the moment of impact. It's about data for legal protection.
Okay, so let's get into the physical nuts and bolts. The built-in speaker, mic, SD card slot, those are all fairly standard.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. But the crucial detail, and this is for any technicians listening, is buried in the wiring definition.
Oh, this is good.
So the definition table clearly says red is power plus S, black is ground, and orange is ACC.
The accessory power, the ignition signal.
Exactly.
Right.
But when you look at the installation diagram they provide, it shows the blue cable going to that same ACC power source.
So the table says orange, but the picture says blue.
Yes, and that's a classic trap. It just highlights how carefully an installer has to cross-reference everything in these technical docs. One mistake there, and the camera won't record when it's supposed to.
A huge potential point of failure right there in the setup.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? I mean, the system, the EH13P, it really does seem to balance that advanced tracking.
The 4G, the GPS.
With just fundamental physical toughness, those Farad capacitors, the heat resistance, that's the real engineering that drives that long-term cost effectiveness. It's all about slashing maintenance.
And for you listening, here's something to think about. Consider how that basic requirement for hardcore redundancy.
Like using multiple capacitors instead of one battery.
Yeah, exactly. How that demand for zero downtime completely changes the design priorities when you're building for a commercial fleet versus, say, a regular consumer. That commercial need dictates every single